Oh, welcome back. Today it's gonna be a bit more interesting. I think this is gonna double up as a nowcast discussion and a forecast discussion. We're gonna go over really what potentially could be happening across on the Mid-Atlantic, going to the Northeast as well as the upper upper plains, going to high plains today. Um, Mainly, the MG winds and large hail are the main threats for today. So, I did and we have quite a potent pattern for some mesoscale convective systems often throughout going from tomorrow going into the 4th of July as well as a few days after. We're gonna probably break that down today too, but I think we're not really gonna go really too specific. I think it's a bit too early. I think tomorrow night is gonna be a good time as well for the 4th of July. So take a look at right now. We have quite a ridge placed over much of the west coast right now. See that ridge axis. We have a trough much as well off to the east. Pretty broad one. Pretty low amplitude as well. Mainly westerlies, 45, 50 knots of 500 millibar flow. Across much of the upper plains we see over top this ridge. We've seen many storms. We will probably see over the next few days as disturbance is going to continue to really ride along this ridge axis, and see those areas where you see stronger flow. I think that's where some short waves are located, of course, going to the 700 millibars. It's even probably a few within there, not too many though. And off to the east coast, but it's pretty quiet actually. Sort of. But take a look at the northeast. We see a few severe thunderstorm warnings active, not too many right now, but seeing quite a few cells active across much of going into New York, across New England right now, southern New England. We have some storms going up further north into Maine. I believe a severe thunderstorm warning for Bay Harbor, so that's quite interesting. We have some more severe thunderstorms further off to the south, just along the Maryland, Pennsylvania border. Looking pretty neat as well. As well with some more severe thunderstorms across West Virginia going into, and you can probably see those quite a lot. Pretty much a pop-up in nature across much of the southeast. Pretty much like the usual day. So, take a look at I guess the next thing we can do is take a look at radar over. Okay. That's not so. I guess we have some storms active, and none of these are severe. Actually, there is a severe thunderstorm warning actually on the Canadian border, mainly for quarter-sized hail and winds up to 90 kilometers per hour. This is for Lake Alma, Gladmar, and Rydville, Neptune as well. So, decent activity across much of the region. We're probably seeing some strong instability. Decent, around 500 surface-based instability, a lot. You see, mostly those inverted V soundings, so QTs. So that's probably promotive of more of a outflow dominant storm mode. And you see that DK value is definitely pretty solid to say the least. I think some wind gusts are definitely decent right now. Especially. So, probably some isolated hail, strong scattered hail to maybe some damaging wind gusts. So yeah, that's take a look at that for the cities. We'll take a look at the recent QTs. Pretty saturated, a lot of dry air aloft, so that's probably indicated really more of a damaging wind threat. And pretty skinny cape values, probably due to those weaker lapse rates, 1,500, 2,000 joules per kilogram, around 1,000, 1,500. So not bad. I mean, definitely probably mainly a wind risk as well. No tornadoes really, but maybe some transient supercell structures, maybe based off of these photographs. Mainly straight in nature, so maybe an isolated hail risk. So, I think I really said everything that really needed to be said. For today across the main risk area. Going tomorrow, I have an enhanced risk across much of going to Montana. It seems like a Bowen segment could develop. And rapidly progress off to the east, and as well further south into Nebraska and in Dakota, a few MCSs could develop. It's gonna be probably key for day 3, which definitely looks pretty interesting. Definitely caught my eyes. We have another slight risk across much of Dakotas going to Montana. Probably some more MCS development that's gonna be important for the next few days. With much of the remnant MCVs or any MCS that are still ongoing, I think probably a slight risk might need to be introduced by tonight actually. And I guess I'll show you why. We'll take a look at first at the NAM 18Z. New data came in, and really we see quite a few disturbances running along that ridge, of course, and we do see a few MCVs actually, remnant from tonight it seems, going across into heading west. We see quite a few perturbations actually within that flow riding along that ridge. So that's probably going to be key for development tomorrow as well, just like pretty much several previous days. And we could be probably seeing a Bowen segment, and that activity is probably going to be, that remnant MCV is going to be moving off to the east, and that's going to be probably across much of that warm front really that's going to be in place across the region. We can take a look at that data, take a look at the equivalent temperature, and central temperature, and we see that data E gradient actually setting up much over Minnesota going into Wisconsin. So that NCV could definitely spark something as well. It's going to be probably riding along that upper jet, so we're probably going to be seeing more of a mostly westerly at first before really storm motions really turn off to the south and east. But that's quite interesting. And we could probably see a few. I wouldn't be surprised actually tomorrow if we see a few sneaky MCSs that develop early, and we get a few MCVs that will support really a severe threat, especially across Iowa, going to Illinois, Indiana, maybe even into Ohio overnight. So I think really broad slight risk examination is conditionally favorable. I can take a look at a few soundings even, and we'll take a few along that warm front, take a few even just out in open warm sector, and even going to Iowa, northern Illinois, going to central Illinois. And you can see many of these soundings are pretty conditionally favorable. If we can get those disturbances, mainly in Iowa, that would be an issue, but this is pretty conditionally favorable for really if any MCV develops that can allow for upscale growth. I think a significant wind risk is definitely going to evolve, especially mainly across Minnesota going into Wisconsin. I think that's the most likely location. It's confidence of MCS across Montana seems to be definitely a lot more likely, especially with the recent cams that came out this morning in 18Z her. I think a Bowen segment is likely to develop, and definitely track through North Dakota. So we'll take a look at the wrap. Take a look. I'm pretty sure it's going to show something pretty similar. We'll take a look at 15Z, of course. Basically similar story. We see quite a few disturbances, and it seems like we have a few short waves across Montana that's going to be developing. tomorrow's activity. And we see a time of those MCVs. This only goes 18, but we can see many short waves as well riding that ridge, mainly within, and we see 50, around 45, 50, 55 knots of flow within those maximums within those short waves, as well as even going further south of the Iowa and Illinois. So, really, I think decent support really is, and we can take a look at that. Take a look at. Pretty sure I was gonna probably show DD gradient. Yeah, you can see that starting up over Iowa and Wisconsin, Minnesota, going to the Dakotas, and for the south. Don't think it's going as aggressive compared to the NAM though. I think the NAM is going up really aggressive, really. Yeah, you can see definitely with that, but I think moisture is moisture instability looking quite extreme, even for this time of year. So we can take a look at this is throughout midday. This is not really at peak daytime heating, so you can assume the environment might be a tiny bit better. We'll go take a few soundings out in South Dakota. We'll go to Iowa, and then we'll go into southern Wisconsin. I think that might be not. We'll take one. I think right there. So this is a tiny bit along the warm front. There might be a tiny bit. See a tiny bit of some. We're not looking too good, but yeah, this is a bit better. I think this is a better representation. This is across Minnesota. A tiny bit of an inversion though. I think feature waves can get rid of that easily. Same story with this, and but quite strong instability aloft. You can see with many of these soundings. So I think I was justifying my point, but I guess we'll take a look at 12Z Euro. Take a look at Beyond. We'll take a look at DFS as well. And quite a few waves still developing as well, going throughout even midweek. So that's something really to watch. We could probably see more before that trough. Really, before we see that trough, that ridge. Shift more off to the west, and that basically ends. Well, not really particularly, but over top of the ridge, we'll be probably seeing some more severe potential. Let's go move off to the north and to the west. I guess the GFS could probably support that too. See probably many disturbances riding along that ridge, and we see those stronger flow, and then you can see that ridge tiny bit shifting off to the west, northwest flow, and over top that ridge, probably across the Dakotas going to Montana. We'll be probably seeing daily severe weather potential across there. So, in conclusion, I think really the next several days it's going to be probably with some significant wind potential really, but it's rather conditional, but it really depends on really where these perturbations, where MCVs really set up, and I think that's my conclusion. Really bringing out today. So it's been a while since I last done this. I think tonight I'm gonna go with time more in depth with tomorrow's pretty much another challenging day, but next 2 days will be that way. But anyways, apart from that, that's really it, and goodbye.